Hi. So a Compassion Club member has been having some tension in their upper back and shoulders. And that seems pretty universal at this time of year to feel that stress and that weight of responsibility on our shoulders. So, I'm making you a short video. You will need a wall. That's all you need. And a floor. Okay, let's go over to the wall. We'll stand with our backs to the wall and do a little wall sit. And if you just want to focus on your shoulders, you don't have to bend your knees and get the strengthening in your legs, but really, why not, right? Now, rock your pelvis a little bit until you find a neutral place for your pelvis, where it feels balanced. And then settle your back into the wall and the back of your head into the wall. So when you're gazing forward, it is on the horizon. And the back of your head is pressing into the wall. You might feel that waking up your neck muscles. Don't overdo it. And then see if you can soften your lower ribs towards the wall. Broaden out your shoulders, and then take your arms to the sides. And if your fingertips can touch, great. So we just have this feeling of that our arms are out to the sides, not expecting your whole arm to be on the wall. But now notice if anything changed in your neck or your bottom ribs. And we're not judging, we're just noticing. So we're pressing into the wall, pressing into the wall. The backs of your hands, so your thumbs are up. And pressing into the floor a little bit. Now remember to breathe. All right, and then rest that. And if your legs are still okay, continue with the wall sit, maybe even deepening into it. So we really feel the floor through our feet. All right, then take your arms out to the sides again. This time, bend your elbows. Maybe your elbows may or may not touch the wall. See if you can get your fingertips to touch the wall. And breathe, broadening out through your shoulder blades. And if your fingertips don't touch the wall, no problem. One more breath here, and then let that go. So we woke up a little bit through that upper back area, right? Now take your palms forward. Now you can come up to standing. You don't need to do the wall sit for this. But take your arms forward and press your palms into each other. Press them firmly into each other, really firmly. Feel your shoulder blades on your back ribs. Keep breathing. Now let that go. Right. Creep up the wall, walk your feet in. And then turn sideways. So when you're facing sideways, have your feet comfortable, hip distance apart, and feel balanced on your feet. And see if you can stack your hips above your heels and your shoulders somewhat above your hips, and then your ears above your shoulders. So again, you find that horizon line. And now the hand that's closest to the wall, so there'll be the back of your hand that comes against the wall. Relax your shoulder and keep gazing on that horizon line, feel your feet, and press the back of your hand very firmly into the wall. So you're pressing pretty firmly, and then you'll start to take your other ear towards your other shoulder, just any amount. So you're lengthening the side of your neck that is towards the wall. Keep pressing your hand, back of your hand, into the wall, and lengthen your ear away from that hand. And then you can use your other hand to help your head straight up again. And you might try turning and looking away from your hand a little, looking towards the wall and away from the wall, if that feels all right. Keep the pressure on with your hand a little longer. And then step away from the wall, turn sideways, and just notice how your arm and shoulder feel. It might be a little sore, or it might feel really floaty. And then you can kind of shake out your arm or turn your palm up and down, roll your shoulder. In fact, both of your shoulders could roll. So sometimes we think about tension, releasing tension as all about getting more flexibility and stretching. But some of these stabilizing and strengthening moves that are really, really simple can give us more sense of freedom. All right, so we're just repeating that on the other side. So find your grounded, stable, standing posture. your Tadasana or mountain pose and gaze ahead of you. And then the back of your hand comes into the wall. And get active with that. Feel your feet, feel your front ribs softening, and keep your gaze on the horizon line. So you decide how much of that isometric pressure you put on your hand pressing into the wall. We never want to overdo this. There's no need. And then take your ear up and away from that, any amount. So you're bending your other ear towards your shoulder. Keep your gaze on that horizon line. Keep pressing. Take your free hand and use it to lift your head back up to neutral. And then if you want to turn your head a little side to side, you certainly can. Keep pressure on. Now look forward again. And then turn this to the side and release it. And notice how the arm is just floating up. I'm not trying to make it float. It just did that on its own. All right. Now we'll roll our shoulders a little bit. So we did the strengthening and stabilizing first, and now we'll do a little flexibility stuff against the wall. So let's start with the outer shoulder. So you'll actually start with your back to the wall and have some space out to the side. Bring your arm, and I would go with the shoulder that feels better first. So bring your arm out to the side, about parallel to the ground, and the back of your hand is pressing into the wall again. Not so hard, just a little. And keep the back of your hand pressing into the wall as you start to turn your body. So your shoulder stays against the wall, but you turn your body slowly towards that arm. And you just go any amount. Now keep that mountain pose, so your shoulders are somewhat above your heels. And then unwind again, keeping the back of your hand pressing against the wall, keeping your shoulder anchored to the wall, and then relax that arm down. Other side. So your arm out to the side. My shoulder is against the wall and the back of my hand is touching the wall. I'm going to keep pressure on the back of my hand as I start to turn my whole body in the direction of that arm. So the arm ends up coming across my body. Keep pressure on the back of your hand into the wall. Use that isometric action to feel the stretch in your upper back. And remember to breathe. Unwind, unwind, unwind. Relax your arm down. Now we'll stretch the front. So I'm going to start with this arm out this time. I'm facing the wall. My arm is out. Pretty much parallel to the ground, I think. And I'm pressing my palm into the wall, and I'm going to keep pressing my palm into the wall as I turn any amount away from that hand. So my palm keeps pressing the wall. If you need to bring your hand lower or higher, probably lower, it's fine. And once you've got to a place where you feel like, okay, this is as far as my body wants to go, stretching those chest, pectoral, and front shoulder muscles, then you could bring your other hand onto the wall for support. You could bring your hand to your heart or your front lower ribs, or you could let your arm dangle. And then try looking away from the wall a little bit, away from that hand. And you could even look up and down a little. Keep pressing the wall with your hand. Keep breathing. And then unwind it. And now I'm going to stay facing the wall with that same hand out to the side. And then I'm going to creep my hand up. Any amount. And back down. And you can also slide your hand, but sometimes people like just creeping, taking it slower. It could feel a little safer and more comfortable. And you can even go around. All right, I'm going to go to the other side now. Same thing on the other side. Face the wall, press the wall with your palm. Make sure your shoulder feels comfortable before you start to turn any amount away. So it's not a spinal twist. We're trying to keep everything lined up as much as we can. And ears back above shoulders, shoulders back above hips, feet feeling solid and grounded. And that the shoulder that you're stretching, you never want to overdo it. So make sure you're still breathing. You feel comfortable. And even lean in to be supported by the wall. And this side might feel very different from the other side. You could look up and away, or you could look towards the wall. When you feel like it's even, turn again to face the wall. And then you might want to move your arm a little after that. All right, and we'll do a downward dog variation against the wall. So bring your hands onto the wall, about shoulder width apart, and walk your feet back. So your spine comes maybe parallel to the floor, but it doesn't have to. You can keep your hands higher and wider if you prefer. It's fine to bend your knees and press the wall. Scoop your armpits towards each other so you feel like you can hollow them out and press the wall. Feel like someone's pulling your hips away from the wall. And then you can always play with taking your hands a little lower or a little higher, a little closer together, or a little further apart. But see how you could wrap your shoulders so your armpits face each other a little bit and hollow out and your sides get longer. And then you could walk towards the wall. Hey, here's some extra things you could try if you'd like. So take your arm out to the side, turn so you're internally rotating your shoulder, thumb down, slide your hand behind your back. Now, I'm not reaching up, I'm reaching down and across. My palm is facing out, and then I'm going to lean against the wall. Just see how this feels. So I've got the wall there, softening and breathing. And it's comfortable. Yes, my arm is pinned, but that shoulder is comfortable, easeful. And then I can take my other hand and I can rub the side of my neck and my shoulder. And I can also try looking up and away from the shoulder that I'm stretching. And you can also look down, so you can experiment with that feeling. And then ease away from the wall. Let that arm dangle. Shake it out. And then go to the other side. So internally rotate first. Slide your hand behind your back anywhere that feels comfortable. Reach it down and across, down and across. And then you could lean against the wall with your palm touching the wall, your forearm touching the wall, your back against the wall, back of your head against the wall. And then you can go over and start to rub anything that wants rubbing. And you can also look up and away, down and away. And then bring your head back to neutral before easing away from the wall and letting your arm dangle. And something you can try away from the wall and also you can try on your walks is just letting your arms swing, unburdening yourself, freeing yourself up to have lots of space for your arms to move. And you might notice that this really might improve your mood, right? If you're feeling a little down, next time you go for a walk, letting your arms really exaggeratedly swing, like swing in a kind of a dramatic. All right, and shake everything. Thank you for joining me for that upper back and shoulder tutorial. If you liked this, I think you'll really like the Compassion Club, and I invite you to check it out at the link below.